Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking to a creator in our what I am calling the Pressing Towards the Source Point group of chats. And thanks to our good friend Dirk Manning over at Source Point Press, he's been sending uh, his creators our way to talk about their projects. And so today I have another one, and we're going to be talking with Becka, and she's going to be telling us about her project. And so let me quit yammering myself and bring her in and let her tell you about, you know, everything. So,
Okay.
how's it going?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for taking the time out of your day to, chat and tell us about your project.
Mhm.
First off, before we get started talking about the book and stuff, uh, tell us a little bit about yourself. First, as a comic book reader, when did you start? Do you remember the first book you read? And as a creative talent yourself.
Okay. I'll do my best because I've been told I sell myself short. My name's Becca. I'm from Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. About a short drive from New York State. Um, I've been into comics since I was a kid. Like started with the newspaper comics, just something my mom tried to use to get me to read. And I gravitated towards comics like Calvin and Hobbes. And then it went over time, I got into, some of the comics. There was a popular comic book shop where I live that's since closed down. The owner passed away. That was nearby the high school I went to. So my friends and I would go there. And then I gravitated towards indie comics like Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and stuff like that. And then onto manga. Um, and then eventually I got into horror comics. So now I am a cartoonist myself and I make my own horror comics. The latest one being the Wormhole Club Tragedy. It's uh, my second graphic novel to be released through Source Point Press this time. And previously, I've been known for Gehenna Death Valley, which won a Joe Shuster Award for independent publishing, the Gene Day Award for independent publishing back in 2020. So yeah, that's I think that's everything. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump right into the book, and why don't you give us like the elevator pitch and overview?
Okay, so basically, the Wormhole Club tragedy begins with a spontaneous human combustion outside of a popular nightclub that burns down mysteriously, and the witnesses who are there, uh, that everyone's taking videos of it and everything, right? So as one does when there's a disaster in your, in the downtown area where you live, right? Or hang out at, and they notice there's a strange figure there in the fire. Like, who or what is this person? And there's a pattern that people have found online, and people become obsessed with this figure. And also, and the poor woman who was killed in the fire is quickly forgotten about, as you know, seems to be with these sort of things. Like when there's a murder, it's more
Yeah.
about who the murderer is, not so much the victim. And one of the witnesses who was there was one of the firefighters who was talking to his psychologist, Mateo Meyer, and Mateo trying to understand his patient's, obsession with the mysterious figure at the fire. He goes down a rabbit hole trying to investigate who or what this person is, why is the internet obsessed with them, and he gets caught up in the mystery himself over time. So the Wormhole Club tragedy, it's a cosmic horror mystery story. There is body horror in it. To quote from Fred Kennedy, currently best known for the Florida hippopotamus cocaine massacre, and also known for Dead Romans and Overwatch. He says, if you love the X Files, but think it needs a dash more chaos and body horror, the Wormhole Club tragedy is exactly what you're looking for. And another pull quote from a offended pastor, that's a whole other story. The content of this comic bothers my spirit.
So, what was the inspiration for the story?
So I love movies. I generally love watching anything weird and unusual. So I hang around the horror genres, but also sci-fi. I love watching movies like stuff like The Void that came out like about 10 years ago. Um, I love David Cronenberg's work and stuff like the comic was inspired by like things you would probably walk into a VHS store back in the day, and it'd be somewhere this kind of movie would be on the movie shelf in the horror section or in the anime section, possibly because there's some psychics and ESP people in here, and I was also drawing some influences from Akira, but less of the cyberpunk stuff and more cosmic horror vein. One of the comic book shops I go to, the owner, Wayside Comics and Cocktails, the owner Omar called it psychic punk, and I'm like, that's cool. So experimenting with a possible new subgenre. I don't want to get like cocky or egotistic or anything like that, but sure, what not? Let's try it for marketing. Yeah.
So tell us. So I think you've given us the general. Who are the main characters, and how did you go about developing them, or what coming up with them as unique characters?
Okay, so I'll start with the main villain. So with the pre-launch page on the Kickstarter, I left it blank, just left the mystery part going on there. But I'll just say her name. So the internet calls her Forticia Vortex. She's a goth-looking, mysterious, creepy pasta-ish figure whose head turns into a black hole, and that's how she gets her victims, either by, destroys them by fire or by spaghettification with this black hole. So how I came up with it, I don't know. It was just one of those things. I was at Fan Expo, I think it was 2019 or something, and I'm just sitting there, or 2018, and I'm just sitting there in the artist alley during a lull, right? And the image of Forticia popped into my head, but it with the black hole form. And I'm like, that's interesting. I should draw it when I get back home. So it just built from there. And that's kind of like my stories, they just happen randomly, right? And then I just build a story around that idea and see if it works. And if the idea doesn't let go, then I'm like, okay, it's now a comic. So, yeah.
So when as how have you, since with this one, and you said you had some other work before this one, how do you feel that you've grown as been doing this, or did you learn things prior that you've applied to this project?
Yeah, so the comics community here in Southern Ontario is great, and it's a great network of people. I've learned a lot from the Raid Studio in Toronto. I've since joined them since last October, and so I've gotten a lot of tips from them as well. And Gehenna Death Valley, it was mostly traditionally drawn, where the Wormhole Club, I since got the program Procreate on my iPad Pro. So most of it's been drawn on Procreate, except for the covers. The covers I kept traditional for the most part, except they'll be digitally colored, of course. So with the progression, the thing I love about comics is that my art continues to grow with that art form, and because I'm always learning something new, I want to advance my art skills to the point where even though Gehenna Death Valley is the award-winning book so far, I have a hard time going back looking at the artwork because I'm like, I used to draw like that. Oh dear, because like originally I didn't go to art school for this, but I'm not advocating for people to not go to art school. It was just more of couldn't afford it and other reasons. So I just went to Comic Cons, went to panels, networked with some artists, and I'm like, I know how to use Photoshop. So I got my foot in the door by starting out color flatting for a lot of artists, mainly from the Toronto area, and learned a lot from them over the years since around 2010. So, yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about the Kickstarter. Is this your first time on doing a Kickstarter? What are you offering for the rewards levels and all that?
Okay, so I'd say the Kickstarter at this point, it's about 90 to 95% complete. It's launching in a couple of weeks on April 20th. So offering, besides the book and PDF pledges, there's an early bird, a 48-hour pledge that's at a discount. You get a free print with it, but again, only available the early bird for 48-hour eclipse is what I've called it. So you get the book, PDF, and a free print. So for the first, I'm debating whether or not to cap it at a number of people or just keep it open until the 48 hours are up. So this is where the nitpicky stuff, right? For some of the other tiers, I've got a book and art bundle print. I've got a 1 to 2 artists confirmed for some guest art that you can get with your book. I've got a retailer 5-pack at a discount. And for art collectors, I've got 4 comic art collector tiers where if you are interested in getting the cover with your book, you can get the original 11 by 17 traditionally drawn and inked comic book cover, as well as the granddaddy of all tiers. You can get the ultimate psychic punk horror pack, which includes one of the original artworks, a page from the comic on a print, and the collection of issues 1 through 5, plus the graphic novel, which, by the way, the graphic novel will have an additional 20 pages of unseen, unpublished content. And it offers a canvas painting and some art prints. So it's called the ultimate psychic punk horror pack for a reason. So, and there will be add-ons as well. Like you can get issues of the book and some commissions. I'm also debating whether or not to add another reward tier. Working title is "Let Forticia Vortex Suck Your Enemy's Brains Dry" commission. So that's okay. So that's an idea that I just thought of. So yeah. Yeah.
So is this your first Kickstarter experience, or have you done them before?
This will be my second one, and the first one I did it for Gehenna Death Valley. It happened when I had won the Joe Shuster Award, and I only had a limited amount of copies left, and I'm like, and it happened during 2020, so it's like everything's still shut down, and I'm like, oh great, I need money to fund the second edition, the deluxe edition. So the comics community, some friends in Toronto came together to help me out because I was like really nervous. I had never done it before, and I learned a lot from them, and we successfully funded the deluxe edition of Gehenna Death Valley. And it was like, had some nice foil printed covers, like the letters were nice and shiny and stuff, and there was a lot of guest artwork and some behind the scenes artwork for that book as well. We're not going to go that hardcore with this book. This is the first time it's being printed, so we're just keeping it simple this time, and hopefully I won't lose my mind. And another note that I'm still debating whether or not, I'm toying with the idea of keeping this campaign short. Instead of 30 days, to keep it 20 days. My body and soul cannot do a month of campaigning if I can help it. But we'll see what my source point says about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like you learned a couple things from the first experience that you're applying to this one. Do you think that that one being done in 2020 and now doing it in 2026, you're going to be able to kind of, because I'm not just saying that it feels like the platform's changed a lot.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's definitely changes, and there is that bit of anxiety that's there. I'm trying to think of what I can do realistically with this campaign and not trying to keep my expectations high. So far, the worst things I thought I would experience during the pre-launch it's been going better than I expected it to be, so which has been surprising. Another thing that's helped, like I've been promoting the pre-launch at places like comic book conventions, like most recently Toronto Comic Con, and when this campaign launches, the week it launches on April 20th, I'm going to Calgary Expo that week, and it's a 4-day show and one of the bigger shows in Canada. So hopefully it'll be a good place to help spread the word about the campaign while it's going on. I'll probably get pledges through there. It's just taking advantage of the online and in real life spaces to promote the book, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So with your, do you find of the whole process, do you find one more enjoyable than the other, one more difficult, or one that you have to kind of, you know, feel that you're not as strong, then you have to, I don't want to say compensate, but
Mm-hmm. So the most challenging part with this is the shipping, trying to figure that out because, well, state of the world reasons. So I was just figuring that out. I was relieved to find out that it's not as difficult as I thought it would be. So just trying to get the correct information, making sure the shipping is correct, and having the right sticker labels for when fulfillment comes along. To label everything as so. I will say the book is pretty much done. So once the campaign is funded, it's going to go straight to production. So it shouldn't be a long wait time for fulfillment, which I prefer to do it that way instead of just, oh, here's this book that has yet to be drawn, which was nice about Gehenna Death Valley. It was already a completed book. It just, needed funds for the production part, and it just made the process easier. I had feedback from a happy customer who was like, this was the fastest fulfillment process ever. I'm like, oh, great, awesome. So I just want to keep up that. I don't know if reputation is the right word, or just keep up the way I do things on Kickstarter.
The momentum.
Yeah, the momentum. Perfect. Yes.
And tell us about your, how did you get hooked up with Dirk and SourcePoint?
I've known, so one of the guys, Jay Clark, who does the podcast, An Elegant Weapon, he's been their hype man. So, and they've been at shows like Fan Expo Canada. So I would see like Travis and some of the other people working for the company at the time. And Dirk, I met for the first time at New York Comic Con back in 2023. So through SourcePoint, I met Bob Sally and Drina Joe, who's editing the book. She's been a tremendous help, and we're just going over the nitty-gritty details of the book before it launches too, to catch any other mistakes or anything that need to be corrected, both with words and artwork. So we connected online first and then met in person for the first time in 2023 at New York Comic Con. And we got along well. We sat next to each other at the H8 aisle. Yeah. And still kept in contact. And then when the news came out that Dirk became the editor-in-chief, I hope I got the right title. Just when you're put on the spot, I'm like, I hope I'm remembering all the things correctly. So yeah. So Dirk is the boss, and he reached out and he's like, hey, we're interested in Wormhole Club. Would you consider signing with us? So that's how it's all come together. And that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Are they, as a cartoonist, are there any artists, writers inspire you or challenge you to push your craft?
My current, I'm trying to branch out to find other artists, but right now, I'm definitely inspired by Junji Ito, the mangaka, best known for Uzumaki, one of my favorite books, favorite graphic novels ever. I love collecting his hardcover editions. Another artist, and I've just discovered him, and the name escapes me, unfortunately. Also a mangaka. I've been collecting volumes of PTSD Radio, also a horror manga. The chapters are separated like they're radio stations, so the story, it's not a non-linear story, but it's a good creepy, like if you're into ghosts and malevolent spirits and curses and stuff, check it out. And there's some really good creepy imagery and some body horror going on in there too. Let me see if I can just look up that quickly.
Sure.
Okay, so the creator is Masaki Nakayama. I hope I pronounced it correctly. So yeah, check out his work. It's only 3 volumes too. So I know with manga, there's endless volumes of a series, but no, there's only 3 volumes of this manga if you want to check it out.
Nice. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to mention about the Kickstarter, about the book that maybe we didn't cover?
I think that's everything. Oh, I forgot to mention. So I'm also working on, for one of the add-ons, there will be a Forticia Vortex figurine. Sadly, it would only be available for Canadians because tariff reasons and stuff. But the book printed items are good. Like they fit the guidelines, and there shouldn't be tariffs with that as far as I understood the latest rules for it. Just as long as I have a sticker of where it came from and all that stuff, or where it was made. So yeah.
All right. Well, as we kind of wrap up here, would you like to give a quick pitch for the Kickstarter and the book, and where people can find you if you're on the social interwebs?
Yeah. So yeah, if you're a horror fan, if you're into fans of like Junji Ito comics, if you love weird out there horror movies like Scanners, The Void, if you're into weird like the manga from the and anime from the 80s, check out the Wormhole Club Tragedy. It's also a black and white book too, so kind of while it's in a North American format, it's got a manga feel to it. It's with the interiors. The campaign launches on 4/20, and yeah, hope to see you there. And where to find me online, just go to thebecka.com. All my socials and everything are there. And,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for taking the time to chat with us today, and best of luck as the Kickstarter, goes. No matter how long you choose to do it, and
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
however long you choose to do it, we will be following it over on Comic Watch in our weekly roundup of the various comic book campaigns in our weekly segment, which goes live on Saturdays at noon, called The Corner. So
cool.
Yeah, and anything else that we can do to help you out, just let us know, and would love to have you back next time you have a project you'd like to talk about.
I would be happy to, and thank you for having me, Chad. One more note. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm sorry for interrupting. I didn't mean to do that.
No, you're fine.
Okay, cool. So if you also with the Wormhole Club Tragedy, follow the pre-launch link. We've got currently 42 people following. The more people sign up, the better. You click notify the project, and Kickstarter will send you an email to let you know when the project launches.
All righty.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Well, again, best of luck as you dive back into the Kickstarter
yes.
pool, and we'll be there helping you get the word out.
All right. Thank you so much, and you have a great day.
All right. You too.
Great.